When Jane Doe first met Army doctor Blaine McGraw, she says she was hopeful he'd be able to help her with her pelvic pain and hormone irregularities.
I remember leaving my appointment excited that I had a doctor that finally listened to me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sentinel. I've got some disturbing news from Fort Hood, Texas. Evidently, there's a doctor down there who's a gynecologist, OBGYN. Now, I don't know too much about this topic, but I do know that what happened is wrong, and it was grossly mishandled by the Army. Let me explain. Evidently, Dr. Blaine McGraw, who's a major in the United States Army, was stationed previously in Hawaii, and there were some complaints filed against him on potential sexual misconduct, inappropriate touching and whatnot. And the Army kind of just scuffed it off. And then he was transferred to Fort Hood. And we know Fort Hood has had many cases of sexual assaults and sexual misconduct, and also a high rate of suicide in the past. So all of a sudden, a case is filed by several dozen women against this Dr. Blaine McGraw, who I consider to be a freaking scumbag. And I'll tell you why. And so you've got all these women that filed complaints against this guy, and nothing really happened. And then finally, it got serious enough that the CID hauled his ass in and started going through his phones. And they found thousands of pictures, inappropriate, and also videos of women that he was conducting medical examinations on. This guy's in obviously deep shit. But here's the issue that I have with all this. Why didn't the Army pursue the previous complaints? And if they had, maybe these victims wouldn't have become a victim. The problem is the culture in our senior leadership, because for some reason they think that it's going to look bad upon them if these problems arise within their command, rather than addressing the issue. And this has happened on numerous occasions. This is not the first time. And I just happen to be working on another story in Virginia that have invited the parent onto Sentinel to talk to us about that case. Hopefully that episode will come on soon. But there's definitely a problem in the military where we're not taking these types of complaints seriously. You've got service members deployed and their family members are left back at the home station, and when they go for medical treatment, they're sort of abused. And this is grossly unacceptable. The military needs to take this stuff very seriously, and we can't keep covering shit up, and then it just blows up in our face, and then people start tap dancing. The second issue that I want to discuss is that when the CID called in one woman, and I'm not going to take any names because I respect their privacy. This is a very serious issue. They brought her in and they showed her pictures from this doctor's phone, and and she was in shock.
She had several appointments with him spanning a year. But a few weeks ago, she got a call from Army criminal investigators.
They said, we're going to show you a picture from a video that was taken. Can you please identify this person? Let me know how you know them. And it was a picture of myself.
She says they told her Dr. McGraw had secretly recorded her recent breast and pelvic exams. She believes he slipped his phone into his pocket to film her.
And then they basically told her, yeah, thanks for your assistance. And evidently, she went back and she was traumatized because her privacy had been violated. The trust had been violated. Then she went back and, she sat in a car and cried.
When was the moment that it sort of hit you what had actually happened here to you?
Probably about 5 minutes later when I got in my car and I was by myself. And I just sat there and I just started crying. And I drove home for an hour and I just cried the entire way home.
Here's the issue I got with it. When these jack-offs and CID, why are you not using your freaking brains, man? You're bringing a victim of sexual assault in. You should have a counselor in there with her, or a counselor to help her after you're done interviewing with her. I mean, you can't be so callous that you just bring a lady in there, you show her pictures of her private parts, and then you just let her go without any escort or a counselor to help her to deal with the trauma. I mean, this ain't freaking rocket science. I mean, these people have feelings, and I wonder how many of these CID investigators were actually women that were talking to her, or did they even have males showing her pictures of her private parts? Previously, I've dealt with NCIS agents and also CID. And, the bottom line is this: we got to have some empathy for the victims. You got to think through this before you got to have a plan before you call in a victim. Potentially, maybe could have asked her husband to come with her, or a family member to help her to deal with the trauma. This does not bode well for the Army. It doesn't bode well for the military. Now there's all sorts of lawsuits filed by the victims against this Major Blaine McGraw and also against the Army under the Tort Claims Act.
Andrew Kobos is Jane Doe's lawyer.
How many potential victims have reached out to you?
We've fielded well over 60 victim phone calls.
So this is going to blow up big in the Army's face, and it's going to blow up big because the leadership failed to do their duty and protect the victims when the victims did complain.
Jane's husband, who's served more than 2 decades in uniform, says his whole family has been betrayed.
I mean, it's a brother or sister in arms, right? Never in my mind would I have thought a medical provider, especially an OBGYN, would take advantage of both the position as well as the profession.
What do you want to say to Army leadership right now who may have known about this?
Shame on you. Shame on you for letting this happen. Shame on you for not taking action. Shame on you for letting this predator continue to practice.
And it goes back all the way back to Hawaii when that first person complained. It should have been investigated, and this scumbag should have been held accountable rather than transferring his ass to Fort Hood, where he had free reign and a new start. I'm not a doctor. I have no clue about this, this whole issue. In my mind, when a male doctor is conducting an examination on a female, maybe have a female nurse in there with him to safeguard everybody's rights and protect everybody's privacy. I mean, this is not rocket science. It's just simple stuff. It's a damn shame that, we take 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
The lawsuit alleges the Army gave cover to a predator in uniform by allowing him to keep seeing patients despite sexual misconduct claims dating back years, including unchaperoned exams, inappropriate comments, and unnecessary touching.
An Army official says the hospital here has sent notification letters to more than 1,000 of Dr. McGraw's patients. And while that doesn't necessarily mean they were victims,
I thought, hey, maybe we're making progress now based on everything that, the Secretary of War is doing. Seems like we've got some knuckleheads still out there that are not thinking. Now, obviously, this happened in the past. We got to get the message out with clarity that we're not going to tolerate any of this crap, especially when it comes to our family members. Unacceptable. I've got some future episodes lined up with actual victims, and I hope to bring that to you fairly soon. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. It's an important one. Stay rugged, stay united, and stay safe. Khan out.